Well, it's August 2025 and the pandemic is long gone, except for that big bill left over for housing homeless people.
Yeah, San Francisco spent $409 million on hotel rooms alone to keep people from contracting COVID. But FEMA has refused to pay up despite guarantees previously made to reimburse the city.
So it's a big tab, obviously. Yep. ABC7 News Building a Better Bay Area reporter Lyanne Melendez has more on what she uncovered looking into this.
Yeah, and 2020 seems like such a long time ago, doesn't it? Yeah, and of course city officials are saying, maybe we should have done things differently. Well, you never know.
It's a panic time.
Right, exactly. They say hindsight is 2020, and you can't really blame San Francisco for trying to do the right thing during COVID. The city spent millions of dollars thinking, we're not going to pay for this because the federal government is. And here we are, left with a big portion of the bill. And yes, some are asking, did San Francisco city officials have to keep people in hotels for as long as they did?
Let's unclog your memory. In April 2020, homeless advocates demanded that people living in shelters and on the streets be moved into hotels and given private rooms.
It makes sense to put people in hotel rooms now.
Lunchtime. ABC7 News was among the first to visit one of these hotels occupied back then by homeless people. The city agreed that it was a way to try to stop the spread of COVID, except that for those with a drug addiction, there seemed to be little concern with social distancing.
As I have photos in my book on the Tenderloin, at Turk and Hyde, the drug dealers and drug users, they were next door and they would hang out with each other, not with 1 foot away.
Randy Shaw is the director of the Tenderloin Housing Clinic and saw firsthand how in many of these hotels, people were practically left unattended.
When you put somebody who is using drugs in a hotel, what could be the outcome?
I think exactly what it was.
San Francisco saw a dramatic increase in the number of unintentional overdose deaths in 2020, more than the previous 2 years combined.
And it created the biggest drug crisis San Francisco's ever had, and we still haven't recovered from it. In the hotels, there was no restriction, so it was ridiculous. And the city spent millions.
$409 million to house more than 3,300 people in 25 hotels across the city, according to the city attorney's office. The program ended in December 2020, and FEMA, which is meant to respond to these kinds of emergencies, promised to reimburse San Francisco. But in October 2023, in a letter, FEMA unexpectedly told every city in California that because the first dose of the COVID vaccine had been given by June 2021 to reduce the spread of the virus, some reimbursements after that date would not be honored.
At any point, did FEMA say to you, at a certain point you have to stop, we're not going to give you any more money?
No. We were surprised to receive that letter. We had thought and hoped it was a misunderstanding because during the time period when we were providing that non-congregate shelter, we were under the very clear understanding that we were doing this work with the support of the federal government and that we would be reimbursed 100%.
There were other COVID-related expenses that added another $80 million to the city's costs. And let's not forget that San Francisco had already spent millions in settlements to hotels that were damaged.
For the shelter-in-place programs, damage costs alone ended up exceeding $60 million.
The Hotel Whitcomb on Market Street received the most money, $19.5 million in a settlement. The hotel with 400 rooms has never reopened. So where does San Francisco stand in its attempt to recover that money? Under the Biden administration, San Francisco was reimbursed $148 million with the expectation that the rest would come later.
FEMA has been a very big disappointment. They cost a tremendous amount of money.
FEMA, under the Trump administration, is now telling San Francisco the city was really only eligible to receive $7 million. In fact, they are now suggesting that most of the reimbursement made by the Biden administration should be returned. Congressional leaders from California have signed a letter asking FEMA to reimburse cities. We contacted FEMA's Regional 9 office, which covers San Francisco, but after 8 days, we got tired of waiting for a response. That office is located at 1111 Broadway in Oakland on the 12th floor.
I have contacted FEMA.
We went in person, but were stopped by security.
We're doing a story on the fact that FEMA owes San Francisco millions of dollars in reimbursement.
This is not open for the public, ma'am.
Why?
We're not open. I cannot answer any of those questions.
Okay, but it's a government agency.
Call that number that is there, listed right there, and ask them all those questions.
Okay, thank you. So you're not letting us go up.
For now, San Francisco is following protocol by going through the FEMA appeals process.
Our hope is that we can work things out, but if not, we'll be forced to look at all legal options.
Including suing?
We'll see what happens.
Well, first, let me say this.
Mayor Daniel Lurie has been cautious when criticizing President Trump in the past, even though the money FEMA owes San Francisco could have covered a big chunk of the city's $800 million budget deficit. Randy Shaw doesn't believe San Francisco will ever see that money.
If the Biden administration wasn't going to fund San Francisco's FEMA debt, why do they think the Trump administration will?
And President Trump has said he wants to phase out FEMA after the 2025 hurricane season, which runs from June through November. Now, he may be changing his mind as of late, but President Trump is suggesting that any funds would come directly from the president's office rather than FEMA itself. Now, Trump has told states to expect less federal funding.
In the meantime, we've got this big bill hanging.
Right, and you know, the city, the mayor and his press people told me that it would be nice to get that money, but they're not even counting on it.
Right.
No, so we'll see.
Thanks, Lyanne.